it all looked nice. The joy is because of what those things meant. And we're going to look at that in a minute. But before we look at that, I just a quick diversion here worth taking. Look at verse 36. The musicians and the choirs are a major part of this celebration, aren't they? And they're actually a major part of temple worship tradition. So musicians and their instruments were prescribed by David, the king, way back. Music and song are God-given means of expressing joy and thanksgiving at his work. That's the way these people served the house of God. And they served the people by enabling the people to express their joy and express their thankfulness to God for what he had done. And this remains true today. We still live this tradition of David. And we here in this church, we are very grateful, aren't we, for our singers, musicians, and sound technicians. For a church our size, we are richly blessed. And their job, as any musician's job, is to forget themselves and serve the people, serve us, by enabling us to express our affections to God for what he has done for us. That is something really important for us to remember and to support our musicians and our singers and our sound technicians in. Because that is countercultural. Most music is about performance, isn't it? It's actually about drawing attention to the music or the musician who's playing it. God's musicians are called to something far harder. To play and to sing and to mix, to enable people to express themselves in truth to God for his glory. That's why music often goes wrong in churches. Because it's a massive and powerful temptation to make music about the musician or the singer. And so we would do well to pray for our musicians, not to let the performance become the big thing. The performance isn't the big thing. God is the big thing, and enabling us to sing to our God is the big thing. That's hard for musicians and singers. It's hard for the sound technicians. So let's remember that as we see here the tradition of David for music in worship. And the music here does serve the people. Do you see it? It's a very joyful occasion. The joy expressed in this passage, interesting, isn't it, is greater than the joy of people listening to the word of God. We see that back in chapter 8. They had joy, but actually it was mixed with grief. Do you remember that?